What is up? Hello, hello. Welcome to May. Can you believe it? May 19th. Welcome to Beer with Brian, a program of the Coffin Comics Sworn Club. That's right. Beer with Brian is a monthly rumination on things that are going on. I use this time to kind of do a lot of Q&A if you guys and gals have any questions, whatever, and just sort of ruminating on what's going on in the world. So what I can tell you as we sit here on Thursday, last weekend, myself, Francisca, Nick G, we went out to Pasadena, California and attended the Cruel World Music Festival. And man, we had a great time. Pre-pandemic, myself, Fran, Nick, we hang out all the time, but pandemic kind of made everything kind of super businessy and everyone kept their distance. And this was fun, an opportunity for us to all kind of just hang out, also just be people, not just be our respective roles at Coffin Comics and hang out. So the first night we had a very, very nice steak dinner. It was over the top, very nice. I had an Australian New York strip. I don't know how you get an Australian New York strip, but New York strip is my favorite cut of steak, personally. Very tasty, yum, yum, yum. So it was great. Then the next day, we did some sightseeing, and we went to the Huntington Garden Library and Museum in Pasadena. And I was taken aback by how phenomenal this place was. And if you ever get a chance to be in the greater Los Angeles area, particularly in Pasadena, which is a fun, cute little town, totally go to the Huntington. The reason why I found it to be amazing is this was a place that was purchased for the purpose of making it a humongous public garden and museum and library. And I couldn't even tell you how many acres it takes up, but there are different sections with different garden themes. And two garden themes that particularly were strong was the Japanese garden. I mean, visually, it was just remarkable. The layout, the tranquility when you're there. And they had a whole section of, and yet another section, bonsai trees, beautifully displayed, those little perfectly formed trees. And then surprisingly, another section I would love to go back to was the desert garden. Total amazing grouping of all desert flora, cacti, and it's sort of like a lot of the stuff that we all live around here in Arizona, but much larger. It's like the land of the giants version of everything. So we had a great time. Beautiful art, library. It's one of the most wonderful things I've seen in my life. I thought it was cool. I'm looking forward to going back and spending more time there. Now, Saturday was then the festival. This was one of those all-day festivals. So the doors opened, and first band that we had an opportunity to see was a band called Automatic. All-female group, singer, keyboardist, bass player, drummer. They were great. They were actually a complete standout. I'd never heard of them. Total new wave sound, fantastic. Saw a lot of other bands during the day. We saw Christian Death. I don't think they could still play their instruments. So we saw The Damned. We saw what's that ska band? Geez, why am I blanking? Do you know the name?
I'm not sure exactly.
Totally blanking. We saw Missing Persons in particular. But then as the evening wore on, a lot of things funneled to the main stage where we watched Public Image Limited, Devo, which was both incredible, Bauhaus, and then Morrissey. So great. I would say that during the day it was unexpectedly hot and there wasn't much cover. As you can imagine, at a festival, the prices for everything were like off the charts. But it was great. We had a wonderful night and got out of Dodge. And then the next day, we had found this local breakfast place, and each day had something different. And it was a treat. Because normally, you may or may not know this about me, I'm very disciplined in what I eat every single solitary day. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day, 6 days a week. I eat the same thing for lunch 5 days a week. And my variety comes in my dinners and sometimes on weekends. But we just went buck wild for this weekend. It was great. It was great to spend time with Nick, of course, Francisca. and ran into a couple of people, and that was fun too. So I find music and music festivals very invigorating and visually stimulating. Um, I've done some serious working out story ideas at festivals, and the truth of the matter is, I probably get the most visuals out of going to heavy metal shows because I contrasted with this particular group of shows, and I completely enjoyed it. But it really was when I saw Devo, I just like surrendered to Devo and their world and loved it. It didn't create any visuals because they were so visual themselves. But particularly when Bauhaus came on, if you're familiar with the band, they are very serious in tone. But I definitely felt like the visuals like really were cranking away there. You know, a lot of the music associated with this particular festival, if you think about it, they're like very carefully constructed pop songs, 3 4 minute songs, very verse chorus, whereas a lot of metal stuff is super duper epic, long musical breaks that are very evocative in tone. So I had just a whole different experience. In fact, I mean, I found the whole thing to be quite tranquil. The contrast between Devo, who's fun, songs have nice choruses, I know every single solitary lyric, it's the background of my life, and then right after it, Bauhaus, super serious, very intense. Their visual was mainly black and white. I mean, I found them to be wonderfully frightening and scary, which is exactly what I wanted. So those two bands together were really something. So yeah, and then in conclusion for the festival, it's always great seeing Public Image Limited. Whether you know this about me or not, the band that I feel had the most seismic impact on my life was the band the Sex Pistols. And I first became aware of the Sex Pistols in the summer of 1977. And I eagerly got their first record, Never Mind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols, in November of 1977. It was an import. I think it was released the month before in England. And that band had a tremendous impact. To this day, I love and adore the work. And I love the energy of the band and the anger energy of Johnny Rotten / Johnny Lydon, particularly in the context of music. I don't really care about their real life, what they say, but like in the context of music. So when the Sex Pistols broke up and Johnny Rotten became John Lydon, I followed his musical adventures to his next band, Public Image Limited. And I saw Public Image Limited, gosh, in 1979 or 80, a couple times. And then about 6 7 years ago, saw them again. I find them to be phenomenal. They create a trance-like effect in the music that they play. And John never disappoints. He sings his heart out. Every single solitary word, he means it. And he is still pissed off. So big up to John, and thanks. So I might open this up to any questions if there are any. If not, I could go on to other ruminations.
Let's see, we got a lot of people watching. They're saying
hi,
hello. We got
hello,
Kenny saying, hey, Brian.
Kenny.
Got Mr. Goat saying
Mr.
hello. Oh,
Goat.
Yeah, Jason Wyatt saying, hey, Brian.
Jason, my friend, how are you? How holding it down on the East Coast?
We got Eric Hart saying,
Eric.
hey, Brian, good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, Eric, and same to you. I look forward to seeing your commission with Sora, see how it all turns out.
We got Kimberly Kraft.
Hey, Kimberly.
Give you some props on there. Bob Chronister. What's up,
Bob.
everybody?
Hi, man. How you doing? How's everything over there?
I mentioned Jason Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. We got Carmen saying, time for corn dog change up.
Corn dog. Well, we still got a ways to go before I consider a corn dog, but who knows? I think the next big scandal rocking Coffin Comics is that our director of operations and fulfillment actually has the audacity to go to see this New Kids on the Block show next Wednesday. We're going to do everything in our power to dissuade her from this travesty, but this is the cross that we have to bear.
We got Bad Mojo asking any news on the 9-inch PVCs of Lady Death and Coffin Comics universe characters.
Well, what I can tell you in terms of the progress, it's going a little slower than I expected, but I guess that's par for the course in the globe. But what I can say is that art director Joe Allard has completed the drawings of the 3 characters, and we are now officially commissioning a particular sculptor to work on them. Now, again, I had mentioned before, they're going to be action poses, and you're going to see a real expression of energy. And in a sense, the characters could interlock and battle each other. Now, we actually won't have the bases interlocked because then it becomes very limiting, but it can, in the general area, we have it where each character can fight. What I can say, so it's going to take a little longer than we thought. I can imagine a full reveal of the first three by Crucial Con in September. If we're lucky and things happen, we'll have a series of interesting Coffin collectibles on display at Comic-Con International San Diego, because we are deep at work in another statue, and we are deep at work on not only the 9-inch vinyls, but also 3.75-inch reaction figures. We're at the beginning of that point, honestly, but that's the latest on those.
Got a question from Some Dope Mojo. Brian, are you a fan of any hip hop, new or old?
Thank you for asking. I am a huge fan of hip hop, new and old. So in particular, in my formative years of hip hop will be probably 1979 to 1992. When I attended college at New York University, from 1981 to 1985, it was a very interesting time. My campus, so to speak, was the Village in New York City. And there was a big connection between uptown and downtown. And I personally would go to the Roxy roller rink on Friday nights and watch Africa Bambaataa of Soul Sonic Force spin every week. And some of my, I mean, I love Public Enemy in particular, Soul Sonic Force, also Orange Juice Jones, Slick Rick in that era. I have in terms of like the more modern material, I do like Lil Wayne, Lil Jon, that Georgia sound. I like it when it's really creative. I like DJs like Public Enemy's DJ Terminator X. So yeah, of course I liked, I was late to it, but I did like the LA sound of NWA and then the offshoot. I like Dr. Dre's work, Snoop, particularly Cube. Big fan of Ice Cube's solo work. So yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. I mean, I wouldn't say that these days I'm like deep track about any genre because so much of the effort is in our work, but I do try to stay on top of what's cooking. I have an appetite just for like what's new and interesting in music generally. So I read like 8 or 10 music magazines. The genres I'm currently interested in. Over in the UK, there's a real resurgence of classic rock, if you could believe it. So there's new bands doing classic rock. So yeah.
We got a question here from Mr. Goat.
Hey, Mr. Goat.
With the upcoming Lady Death versus Zombie Tramp, any chance we could get it in 2 styles? One of Diego Bernard style and another in the style of Dan Mendoza. Same book, same story, different art.
Well, it's a really fascinating pitch you're throwing out. I have to be vague about this. This is a book that's coming out in October of 2023, and we are in the formative stages. So what I can say is I can table this idea with Dan and see what he thinks.
Here's one question from Matt S. Will there be a reveal of Phoenix Fan Fusion exclusives before next week?
No. So there will be a complete reveal of the Phoenix Fan Fusion exclusives on Monday, unless I know differently, unless Jimmy Coffin and Julian the Hooligan plan to do a show tomorrow. I don't know if they do, but if they do, that's what's going to happen. But if the worst case scenario, it's going to be Monday.
Here's one from, not sure, CPN Rob. What's been your favorite project from the past few years?
Oh, my favorite project. Well, I mean, I think ultimately it's the development of Coffin Comics as a whole, as a business enterprise, because we are a different enterprise than we were 5 years ago. And as the company's grown, and it's grown quite a lot, like the real challenge is what they call scaling your company. So doing our best to keep the quality the same, our customer service to you guys, our customer service internally, building our systems. It's not always the easiest part of what we do, but to make Coffin strong and to make it a business for the ages, I think that's been probably the most rewarding. It's not an individual project. It's building the business to succeed and for long term.
Bob Chronister's asking, what are you drinking? And he's doing good.
I'm happy to hear you're doing good. Although this panel is called Beer with Brian, over here it's before 5 o'clock. So I'm admitting to you, we are doing water with Brian. That's what we've been doing for most of these. I have a rule during I can barely day drink on the weekend. It's I just have 5 o'clock kind of instilled in me. So 5 o'clock it's on, but before 5 o'clock, after we do this particular live stream, I'm off to sign things. So I want to be cognizant. So it's water with Brian.
Here's a comment from Jeff. He says he can't wait to get his statue, but of course FedEx lost it for 24 hours.
FedEx.
Jackie is saying happy Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday. It's true.
Wow, so many questions here. Here's one from Jason. Looking forward to Lady Satanis. Will she be appearing with Lady Deathmore?
So Lady Satanis, her story is complete. Behind the scenes, we believe we have the artist, and that artist will begin work on her first story, Sinister Urge, in late June for 2023. Now let me think, where is Lady Satanis right now? Lady Satanis does not show up in Lady Death 1516, which is this year. And Lady Satanis, I can't say. Next year's storyline, 2023, it's better if I don't say anything. But I can say that she has her own story. And then I also can say Lady Satanis plays a key role in 2023 2024, because 2024 is the 30th anniversary of Lady Death, and we would be remiss if we did not have Satanis return. So if Satanis is there, I think one of his daughters, Lady Satanis, should be there too.
I only got a couple more minutes, so let's do a few more questions here.
Lightning round.
So this is from Eric Hart. Without giving too much away, are there any particular promotions coming up this year that you are particularly looking forward to?
I am. So I still am the author of the promotions and work with the team to kind of collect the imagery, and there are quite a few. We do appear to do promotions on a bi-weekly basis, and there are some doozies. And as you can imagine, as we come towards the fall and Halloween and the holidays, I've gotten some art in that'll just knock your socks off. And I guess that's one of the fun parts of the job, is like we get the work in maybe 5 months before, sometimes longer than people will see. I guess another project, I'm loving right now the La Muerta Kickstarter, but of course, very excited for the next Lady Death because we have a lot of surprises. We're going to be introducing some new cover enhancements that we've been in development on. And gosh, pretty excited by it. If I'm not excited by a given promotion, that's a bad sign. So I'm usually pretty stoked about whatever it is. I was just working on some stuff in the near future, and I was just happy to do it.
Here's one more. From Haley. Is there a possibility of there being a Hell Witch themed patch set in the future?
Yes. Stay tuned for the next Hell Witch Kickstarter, and there will be a Hell Witch themed patch set on that next Kickstarter. So that's Lady Hell Witch Chapter 5. There will be a patch set. And that's, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. This has been Beer with Brian, a program of the Coffin Comics Sworn Club. Talk soon. Hello, everybody. This is Brian Pulido, publisher of Coffin Comics and creator of La Muerta. We are back with an all-new 48-page graphic novel entitled La Muerta Primeval.
This story continues. Yeah! A company-wide event ravaging the Coffin Books in 2022.
When her former lieutenant mysteriously vanishes in the Amazon rainforest, urban vigilante Maria Diaz, aka La Muerta, vows to rescue him at all costs. Joining a squad of ex-Army Rangers and a sexy riverboat captain, Maria ventures deep into the heart of darkness and faces an ancient, insidious evil capable of infecting a secret Halo laboratory, unleashing a relentless enemy, bolstered by Lady Death's DNA, and transforming the jungle itself into a house of hideous horror. If Maria is to survive, she must surrender to a primordial savagery she never knew she had in her. But can she? Will she? Helping me bring this next climactic chapter to life is the original creative team of writer Mike McLean, series illustrator Joel Gomez, colorist CeCe De La Cruz, veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. And here's the thing, this project is done. All we got to do is print, but we need your help to bring this story to life. Thank you so much, everybody. This community makes everything incredible. We simply can't do it without you. Thank you so much, everybody. La Muerta for life.